Hello to my quilting besties. So glad to see you. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter. I have missed you. I know I say it every time I come back. This once a month is really challenging because I miss you ladies. How is everyone doing? Hello, Benita. So glad that you're here. So glad you're here. And there goes Wilda watching from Williamsburg, Virginia. Welcome, Wilda. And Jacqueline, another favorite. Aloha, Lori. How are you? And Cassie is here as well. Ladies, I have so much news. I can't share all of it. I would love to, but we'd be here for a couple hours. In the chat, let me know. Do you want to be here for a couple hours? I know you probably have other things to do, so we're going to get right to it. I want to share with you, this is technically my second anniversary, if you will, of having the Bernette 79 sewing, quilting, and embroidery machine, and I have put it through its paces. So as I was preparing for a special event, which I'm going to mention to you, I thought about sharing with you part of that journey. I have used it to, of course, sew, and then I couldn't wait to free motion quilt. Then I couldn't wait to start ruler quilting, but the big thing on my list was to start doing the embroidery. So I've used the Bernette for all of those things, and you've seen some of it over the past couple of years, but I thought I'd do a quick synopsis, if you will, of my progress, where I'm going, what I've done this year, and I can't wait to share that with you. Let me know in the chat what project you're working on. Summer is almost, well, is it over? I guess after Labor Day, summer is done. So we're officially in the fall. So what are your fall projects? I want to know. What are your fall projects? So let me share with you back from, was it 2 years ago, a video where I did a unboxing of the Bernette 79. It's one of those all in one machines. Now, in the past, I wasn't, let's say, considering an all-in-one machine, but when I became a Bernina ambassador, which I am, initially they wanted to talk to me about and have me be an ambassador for the quilting machine, which I am. But then I heard about the Bernette and I knew embroidery was on my bucket list. So the Bernette 79 comes with everything for free motion quilting, which was a bonus, right? Because that's what I love. The extension table, you need that for free motion. And then it came with all the hoops you needed for embroidery. It was that entry-level embroidery machine that was perfect for me. So I love that about the Bernette. And it's an entry level for anyone, actually, who wants to get started with all of those techniques. Now, of course, after I unboxed it, what was the first thing that I did, right? I did some free motion. The free motion foot comes with it. And I love an open toe foot. Let me know in the chat, are you doing free motion quilting? Oh, Cassie, life is good. Yay, it is. Good to be here. Life is life. Deanna says she's working on the Beautiful Sister quilt. Fantastic. If you don't know this, the Beautiful Sister quilt was featured in Quilt Folk magazine. Did you get your copy? Let us know in the chat. Did you get your copy? Did you see it? I'm very blessed to have had that quilt inside the magazine. Now, the free motion, I decided to share with you how slow sometimes we need to go to free motion quilt. Now, some might say, well, does it have stitch regulation? It does not. But do you need it? Yes and no. I'm going to say no because I learned free motion without it. Some say, yes, I really want to do it and I can't do it without stitch regulation, but that is not true. Every single time we learn anything new, there's a learning curve. And with free motion quilting, as long as you practice, you will get better. Your stitch length will get better. And no one is looking at our quilt projects with a magnifying glass to see if our stitch length is exactly the same all the way across. They're just happy to receive a handmade quilt. So sometimes, especially with a new machine, I take it slow. So that's me practicing and taking it slow, making a sample. I love free motion. So I was excited that this included what I needed to do with free motion. So Wilda says she's still working on her beautiful sister quilts. Wonderful. Now, of course, I didn't leave it there because, I love rulers. Who loves acrylic rulers? Do you combine it with free motion? Do you do the two together? Is that something you want to learn? Bonita says she's working on a scrappy quilt. Awesome. Love to hear that. Scrappy quilts are fun. When I got the bernette, I was purposeful about learning how to use the machine. No matter what your skill level is, whenever you get a new machine, there's still a learning curve. And I wanted to learn everything I could. Now, the ruler foot is an accessory, but I had to get it, and I couldn't wait to test it. So I've been, for the past 2 years, very, very creative with this bernette. I was very focused. And you know that every time I speak to you ladies about quilting or about any project or about learning, I always mention what? Who remembers? You do something you already know, you add something that you're practicing, and you add something new to every project, right? You remember that? Let me know in the chat if you remember. So with the bernette, every time I would work on a project, I would say, how can I use the features on the bernette to help me with those goals, to be more creative, to add more thread texture to my quilt projects? So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years. I have been working that bernette. I haven't looked at the stitch count, but I imagine now that I'm doing embroidery with it, it's getting pretty high. It's getting pretty high, but I'm loving it. Let me show you something else. Do you see this back here? Do you remember this, my peaceful portrait? The peaceful portrait series started because I wanted to use the bernette for free motion and decorative stitching. I decided I need a project. So I'm going to do a peaceful portrait. And the rest is history, because you now know that as a result of me using this project to get to know my bernette, I've taught peaceful portrait on a cruise. I'm going to teach it at a local quilt shop soon. And I'm teaching it at a quilt show in California next year. It's become a very popular project because you get to use those different machine techniques, decorative stitching, which the bernette has tons of designs on it. How many of you have machines that have decorative stitching? When's the last time you used it? Let us know in the chat. Have you used your decorative stitching lately? How have you used it? Or do you forget about it? But I'm giving the bernette a run. I want to know how this machine works, because the more we use the features on our machines and get more comfortable with the machine, the more creative we can become. Sometimes we just default to what we know and we don't try all the features. And I wanted to try all the features. So that was most of the first year. The first year was free motion quilting, piecing, sewing, other projects. And then I decided I needed to start doing little bits of embroidery. But I was afraid. Raise your hand when it comes to learning something new. Have you ever been afraid to get started, thinking that, well, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where to begin? So what did I do? I went to the quilt shop here in Virginia, which is Cottonwood Quilt Shop, and went to their training. when you go to Bernina dealer, you will get training on your machine. And so I said, I'm going to drive. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get the fear out of the equation and get some help. And I met this wonderful person. His name is William. William is the same one who delivered my sit down long arm to my home. He helped set that up. And so he was the one also teaching the class for the embroidery. And I haven't looked back. He is an amazing teacher. And this is my first one this year using embroidery in a quilt. Now, did I know what I was doing in terms of the order in which to stitch the embroidery? Let's say yes and no. Because I didn't think about adding the embroidery until after I pieced the quilt top. So then I had to start to think, how am I going to quilt the different sections, or embroider, I should say, the different sections now that I have a piece top? How am I going to do it with stabilizer, et cetera, et cetera? So I just went for it, and I thought, if it doesn't turn out the way I hope, then that's okay. It's my first try. But guess what? It's turning out fantastic. It's already basted and I started quilting. It's called Garden Variety. So all the embroidery is done. It's a whole collection. It's a beautiful collection called Doodle a Bloom. Hey, we have someone new. Oh, Jordan is here. Jordan says she's still working on the stitch book for her 790 Pro. Congratulations. That's a fantastic machine. Lettering is a great way to use embroidery. I agree, Lori. Fantastic. So I just love trying new things. So I have waiting in the wings a special guest. Guess who? Who wants to guess who's waiting to come on and chat with us about the bernette? I want to share with you that we can meet in person. If you live in the East Coast, Fredericksburg, Washington area, I'm going to be at the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo and do demos on the bernette and the sit down, free motion, ruler quilting, embroidery, all of it. I want to meet you. And I'm going to be a guest at Cottonwood's booth at the quilt show here in Fredericksburg. So I can't wait to meet you, talk about the bernette, talk about the sit down, talk about thread, show you ruler quilting. We're going to have so much fun. So I thought, why not bring William, who put my machine in my house and taught me my first lesson on embroidery. Who wants to meet William? So Deanna's asking, what hoop sizes does the bernette have? I'm going to let William answer that question when he comes on. So ladies, do you want to meet William? I don't see anything happening in the chat. Let me know. Are you ready? He is an amazing person for many reasons. He is a gifted sewer, designer. He does garments, he does backpacks, he does all kinds of things, applique. I look at him as a visionary when it comes to design because nothing that he has is commonplace. They're all very unique. I'm inspired by him. Sheila says, hi, William. Deanna says she's ready. Lori says, yes, welcome to William. All right, William, are you ready? Hi,
Yeah,
William.
absolutely. First off, thank you so much for that introduction. That was incredible. And I am so happy to be here. I mean, this could not be more of a full circle kind of thing here. I was early in my Bernina career when I was setting up the long arm. I was pretty confident with embroidery, but I was so happy to meet Geraldine. And then, unfortunately, Mary, our old owner, passed away, and now I have taken over the shop here. And so I've been trying to reach out to people I know and get things going. And I'm especially excited for this quilt show. We're gonna have Geraldine there. We'll have all of our sewing machines, long arms included. I will say we won't bring fabric this year, which is not a bummer because I'm gonna have both my sub dealers on either side of us selling fabric as well. So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys some of the things I've made, and I'm excited to get to know each and every one of you.
Well, William, in the chat, a lot of them are saying hello, bring them in. And one of my dear friends in Williamsburg said she met you at the Mid Atlantic last year and was very impressed. So you have a
Awesome.
big crowd of ladies here, happy that you're here and excited.
Yeah.
So let's answer Deanna's question before I forget. She wants to know about how many hoops are with the Bernette 79.
Yeah. Well, the Bernette comes with three hoops. It's unlike our Berninas. It comes with pretty much the largest hoop it does take, which is around 8 inches large, and it can fit a lot of quilt blocks, which is important. The other hoops that come with it too are or don't come with it that you can order are the dime hoops, which are those magnetic um, snap hoops that Bernina has now adopted as well since they purchased the company Dime. So especially for quilting in the hoop, there's a lot more options with the Bernette hoop wise. And when you have the magnet, you can move your quilt around a lot easier. And I did see you embroidered after the quilt. One of the big reasons is it's just a scary thing to do because if anything goes wrong, the quilt is already pieced. But it looked beautiful, and I love incorporating embroidery into quilting. Embroidery was what got me into sewing in large part. The software, especially making the embroidery on, making it first on the computer and then putting it to the sewing machine and really going into that. But as I've worked at a quilt shop, I've gotten really into quilting techniques. I just like Geraldine, really try to add something new to each project, a new technique, a new. And this started, honestly, it started because I wanted to know the machines to sell them. I wanted to know all the features. I didn't want to get caught flat-footed. That started, the first thing I did was I did every stitch on my sewing machine. I did a garment where I used every single stitch, which, as you guys know, is thousands and thousands of stitches, just to get to know it. And it's built into this thing where it makes sewing so fun to try to dive into new things. I always wear my heart on my sleeve. Sewing for me was, it's not only therapeutic but life saving. I was having a hard time in my early adulthood, and I ended up getting sober around 6 years ago before I came to Virginia, and just dove into the world of sewing and to the world of creativity in that way. I received a BFA in glass blowing and metal fabrication, so I do really appreciate you saying stuff about my design. I really am not a traditional designer. I actually made a big effort to never take a design class in general in my BFA. I don't like rules, never been a rule oriented person, but I love color, I love design, I love three-dimensional wearable art. So I see myself as an artist that just is always trying to expand my skill set. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the ladies are now anxious with that to see some of your original creations. I know I am. The ones that I've seen in person, I was wowed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say too. I always wear a lot of fun stuff to the quilt show. So if you're able to come to the Fredericksburg Quilt Show, it's the 25th, 26th, and 27th. Geraldine and I will be there. She'll have all of her amazing work, and I'll be wearing something crazy. So that's always a plus.
Yes.
Um, I'll start. Actually, sorry. I'll start over here with this guy. This is one of my most recent sweatshirts. If you can see, it's got couched yarn into it. And that is done on the embroidery machine actually. So I'm using quilting designs to put all of this texture onto the hoodie. I even thought it'd be fun to put a stuffed animal made out of the same material. He's kind of chained to the back of this hoodie here. So I always like to add something different, something I haven't done. I had recently also done this nice long sleeve t-shirt, incorporating the embroidery there with the monster. Sorry, little gold thread monster coming out of the pocket. Something different. And I do really quick want to show a couple of my bags and things like that. I love backpacks. I
Sure,
make a
take your
lot of
time.
little.
Show some of the details.
Sure. Okay. I make a lot of mini backpacks. This one, it's seed packs, so I thought it'd be fun to quilt it with a dual needle because it fit well in between these breaks. So I used a twin needle, and it's a fun way to kind of quilt in non-traditional ways and try to work with your fabric, and that's what I was trying to do here. And then this one is one of my favorite things I've done recently. It's a large quilted bag. I did go a little off script with the pattern, but I do want to point out the decorative stitched handle. I like to do a lot of those decorative stitches and incorporate them in places I can, especially when I'm doing binding or can't find the top pad, but yeah, when I'm doing binding and things like that, I like to add
Can you show
some
that
sort of
up
fun.
again? Show that
Yeah,
again. How was the quilting done? Was that in the hoop or on the frame, or what machine did you use?
yeah, great question. I use my Bernina 700, which is a embroidery only machine, and it went pretty well. It was one of my first like full blown quilting in the hoop, and it was a little bigger than I imagined. So it was a lot of blocks that I ended up quilting. And the problem was I didn't piece everything straight, which I don't always try to do. I try to enjoy my time sewing, and with the 700, there's some limitations on lining everything up, and our newer machines have solved that issue, thankfully. But it is really satisfying to quilt your own projects, especially when they're small. Having a machine like Geraldine's, the Bernette 79, and the Yaya specifically, comes comes with every single thing you could want to do. You can do your quilting, embroidery, free motion quilting, ruler work, and even the software comes with it. And that's, like I said, kind of my favorite element of sewing is to customize these designs on the software and then put them on to something, whether it's a quilt or a garment. Um,
So, one of the popular things in quilting, especially in free motion specifically, is the couching that you mentioned for the piece behind you. Is that
mhm.
how you did it? What machine did you use to do the couching? Was that hoop couching or?
It was. So I love free motion couching too. It's something I like to bring up in my mastery class even, just because it's not really a mastery class thing, but it's so cool. I think it's worth showing. It's so much easier than it seems, and it gives you such a like an elegant look. This one over here, I did it with, or I keep it's got me flipped.
That's all
The
right.
black sweatshirt I did on my new machine. It's a Bernina 770 Pro, which allows me to resize any quilting design without having to worry about the stitch density. So I
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
play with that feature. Yeah, like you said, it's a new feature for me. I really wanted to give it a go. And you can put that couching foot right on your embroidery machine, and any single stitch embroidery couches beautifully. So
Oh, wow.
it's an awesome feature, and that couching foot is actually my favorite because it's the only one that works on your sit down long arm, your frame long arm with Qmatic or free motion, any domestic machine that has embroidery, any domestic machine free motion. And so it's the only foot actually that does every single thing.
Wow, that's very, very versatile. I mean, it really just blows open the door to more creativity. I don't know about you
Hmm.
ladies, but I want to see a close up of that couching. Is it possible to bring it closer to the
Yeah.
camera? I would love
Okay.
to see the designs.
So if I bring it up here,
Yeah, that's good.
you can, you can see some of these. I can show like the sleeve well, hopefully well.
Yeah, we can
And
see it.
really what I wanted was to try almost every quilting design that came with my new machine. So the
And how
arm
was
here
it to
has like your
quilt on
ribbons.
sweatshirt material? The couching on sweatshirt.
It went great. I was a little worried and I definitely sat with the machine. I never walked away from it the whole time. But it embedded itself really well. This is almost like a polar fleece, if you will, and it's
Oh, okay.
really dropped into it. It was a pretty thick yarn that I ended up using, and I did wash it, and that's what I was most worried about was washing it and every stitch staying and the yarn and the wool yarn not shrinking too much. but this
So
too will
it's
give you a
it's one
nice.
of those types of sweatshirts that has like a texture to it so that the couching almost becomes a part of the fabric. It's not like just sitting on top. That's what it
Yeah,
looks like. Is that what's happening?
yeah, that is what's happening. It really is on the same level as the rest of the fabric. It's a really piled fabric, and so it sits right almost lower even than the fabric, which was a really, it was funny. I was shopping at a shop here in Charlottesville, EU Fibers downtown, and I was just so interested in her yarn, and I don't know how to knit or use any other yarn skills, and so she was giving me a hard time for buying yarn just because I really liked it.
Uh-huh.
And I went home that night and immediately was like, this would be a great way to use it, and
Wow.
got to work.
So creative. So are you
Yeah,
going to
and
bring that to the show? I think that, oh, look at that, ladies. Oh my goodness. Is that adorable? Let me do a full screen of that. Oh my goodness.
so yeah, my last and like really important element of sewing is sashiko as kind of my. We all need some time in front of the TV sewing. I don't do any binding or anything like that, so I love to do sashiko. And just like a cute little teddy bear that has these
Oh,
intricate designs, he sits up pretty nicely. These stuffed
how
animals have become,
cute.
it's such a great gift too. I do like them for myself, I will say, but it's a great gift for
So
kids and things.
what machines can I use to create that type of teddy bear with the sashiko?
Oh, you don't even need a machine for that,
Oh,
honestly. The white is all hand stitched.
oh,
So
it's
I
hand
just do.
stitched.
Yeah, the white's hand stitched, and you could technically hand stitch the bear together. It does help to have a machine at that part, but I will say a lot of this bear you won't be able to see, but a lot of the back I did hand stitch the arms and things on. So this is more of a hand project, and I don't
Okay.
like to ever. I feel like doing handwork gives me more respect for my machine, and I enjoy it a lot. I just can't do it too much, or my wrists start hurting. But I really do. I really do like doing that.
Wow, just so inspiring. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that you've made, or
Um,
is
Let's see. I mean, this is a fun one. This is like some waffle material that I carry here at the shop, and I'm starting to carry some more material. But if any, oh, I can't get it. If any of you had met Mary, that's some hand
here?
stitching that she had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that she had done. So I'll probably wear this to the show too. It was kind of a blend between Mary and I. So you got that nice hand stitch. It's a sampler of a bunch of hand embroidery stitches, and then kind of a big goofy hoodie in more of my style.
Okay. So, but the hoodie was sewn by you. You did that
Mm-hmm.
on the machine.
Yeah, I sew
Yeah.
everything. Almost all of my clothes at this point, I like to wear. You know what I haven't done is an underwear class, and I hear that there might be talk of that in the future, Geraldine.
Yes, that is a talk, a good conversation. I can't wait for that. William and I were talking with another sewist who lives in Charlottesville, and the two of us want to collaborate with the shop to do some community oriented events. And one sounds like it's going to be how to make your own undies, right?
Which I it's one of the last things I haven't made, so I couldn't be more excited.
Yes, and part of that conversation was talking about uh, since she's a sewist and I'm a quilter, that we would make some kind of quilted garment together. So, ladies, if that's something you're interested in, make sure you get on Williams, the Cottonwood's email list, and get on my email list so that when that happens, you can join us for all those community events. But of
Yeah,
course, we can't wait to see you next week. Next
yeah,
week for the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo. It's going to be fun.
yeah.
William, they are saying that you're awesome, your work is awesome, and so much
Thank you,
fun
guys.
and inspiring. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we finish out our time together?
Well, mostly if anyone's able to go to the Quilt Expo, I'd be super excited to meet you guys. I will have a lot of giveaways, a lot of demos to do on the machines. You know, we'll have every machine from the bernettes all the way up to the long arms. So that's every price point and a lot of good deals at the show. It's really the lowest we can get our prices. So if you have any interest in a machine, good time. And if you just want to see a demo, I always heavily encourage that. We'll have, like, Geraldine will be there. So as I set this up, there's some awesome demos and no pressure.
Yes, very talented, they're saying. Yep, awesome. Okay,
Thank you.
William, thank you so much for being here. You are an inspiration, and thank you for showing us what the Bernette and Bernina machines can do, how you can combine sewing, quilting, hand stitching. I just love
Absolutely.
that you really fully dive deep into a machine. And I meant to ask you this question. I'm glad I remembered. When you
Mm-hmm.
did that first, every single stitch on a machine, that project,
Mm-hmm.
during the process of it, were you getting more and more inspired as you used those different stitches?
I truly was. I mean, I started it almost thinking there was no way I finished it. And the more I got into it, it's just, we get these great machines, and so many machines have decorative stitches now. And, understanding your machine does a lot for you sewing and enjoying that time and just kind of delving into what that machine is made to do and can do. I find to be super gratifying. It brings you closer to your machine, which I know might sound silly, but for me, I love to like really feel connected to the machinery I'm using.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds silly. I think the ladies would agree, that our machines are important. And when we spend time to get to know what they can do and what they're capable of, it will bring in more inspiration. And the more we know it, the more freedom we have to create. Because we say, oh, I can try this because you've done it before, you know what your machine can do. So that's
Truly.
been my amazing experience with the Burnett 79. I truthfully didn't know that I would enjoy it as much as I am enjoying it because I was really excited about the Q20.
Yeah.
But when the Burnett came and it had the embroidery, I was like, let me just start playing. And so I'm excited about finishing my quilt and doing some other embroidery projects. William,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I can't wait to see you next week.
Yeah, I will. I'll leave you with this. One thing I always tell my customers and my employees is, creativity is a muscle. And there's Olympic athletes that we will never be, and there's people that run and work out and really enjoy that time. So creativity, you never have to be, Mozart or whatever your form of creativity is, but all it is so important to express ourselves and to enjoy that time. That's why I run the shop, and that's why I love teaching so much. So, feel free to express yourself. Don't be limited by rules. Enjoy the machines.
Yay. William,
Yeah,
the rule breaker and creative.
that's
Yeah,
right.
thank you. Thank you so much, William.
Yeah, have a great one.
All right, take care.
All right.
Ladies, what a wonderful conversation. Are you inspired? I am. Who wants to get started with couching? I do. I think I want to find out what the fabric is specific that he used for that hoodie because that texture, it just looks so cozy and warm. So Deanna says no rules, just sewing. Yes. William is speaking our language. Yes, he is. Jordan says she's inspired. So ladies, you must come to the show, say hello to William, say hello to me, test drive some of the machines, play around with them, see what they can do. Just come and say hello, and I'd love to see you. Now, of course, I've been working on different things, and I've been working on this new project that I'm going to teach at Cottonwood in October. And of course, it's embroidery. Do you remember the quilt? Let me go back to it. This one here, where I was first learning how to put embroidery in a quilt, and I kind of did it backwards. I did take a risk, like William said, because the top is already finished. And I said, okay, I'll just test out the embroidery beforehand, figure out how I'm going to do it. And if I have to take out a block because it didn't work out, but I didn't have to. The machine stitched every single embroidery design without a problem. I'm so glad. But of course, we're not going to make a big quilt in the class, but instead I took just two designs from this embroidery set and I made a little mini project. I think you're going to like it. Let me show it to you. It is so much fun. This one is called Night Wings. So who can guess what are the stitching designs we're using in this? Of course, there's embroidery, two colors, which is fantastic. I love that. And then we have some stitching in the back. That is so pretty. Was it hard to fit the quilt in the hoop? Not at all. Easy, easy, easy. No problem. William mentioned the metal hoops. I knew those that just came out. And when I started doing my research for quilting, doing embroidery in a quilt, I heard about those magnetic hoops. And I thought, because it's easier. Instead of trying to put all of it together, the magnets hold it in place. So you don't have to stuff it in between a hoop, if that makes sense. So I might consider getting those. We'll see. This is the other one. This is called Daydreams. Look at that beautiful butterfly. Isn't that fabulous texture? I just love this. And it's such a beginner-friendly project. You know, you don't want to do a full quilt. Maybe you want to do Daydreams and Night Wings. Either one, but it's so fun. Such a fun project. And these are the simpler designs because you know I had to go a little bit further, right? And this one is not, it's finished with the embroidery and the decorative stitching, but it's going to become a bag of some sort. Let me show it to you. It has a little bit more color, more design to it. I just love it. The other thing that you can play with in embroidery is the scale and size. So some of these butterflies are 120%, some are 80%, some are 100. So I played with that. I just love the combination of the decorative stitching with the embroidery. So much fun. Terry, the magnetic hoops are great and worth the investment. Thank you, Terry, for sharing that. I might get that. Jordan, let's see. What else did I miss in the chat? I'm saving for the magnetic hoops. That's what Jordan says. Okay. Was it hard to fit in the hoop? Okay, I think I got all the questions. So that's what I've been working on, and I will be not only at the show, but as I demo, I'm going to be demoing the embroidery, the free motion. I'm actually going to bring a peaceful portrait project with me so you can see how I stitch it out on the bernette and do some ruler quilting. If you want to see that and you are in town, come by, say hello, and I can't wait to see you. Let's see what else is happening in the chat. Nothing else. All right. Now, ladies, you would think we were done for tonight, but we're not. We're not done. William was a fabulous guest, but I have some other things to share with you that are in the pipeline. We only meet once a month, and so I always struggle with what should I share with you. I don't want to overwhelm you, but are you ready for some additional news? Let me know in the chat. I have some more in person. Most of this year, I've been only teaching virtually. This quilt show next week is, I think, my first in-person event because everything I've been doing is virtual. And that was with a purpose. I wanted to get better at teaching virtually. And so I really put a lot of my effort into doing a lot of virtual events. So Deanna says yes. Hey, Lois, so glad that you're here. Welcome. And Jordan says yes, she wants to hit additional news. So as you know, a lot of these quilt shows happen well in advance. And so many times I'm working behind the scenes on things that are happening next year or the year after that. And so I have two big events happening next year. One is happening in January and it's in California. So if you're in California, this is an in-person event where I'm going to teach 3 ruler quilting classes and 3 free motion quilting classes. And these are all classes that are full day for one class, which is fantastic. I love full day classes because you really get a deep dive into ruler quilting when you take that. And of course, I share all my tips, tricks, techniques. I help you become more confident in that. And so let me show you the first one. I'm going to show you just the ruler quilting today. This is improv angles and shapes. This is going to happen on Monday the 19th, full day, and I am in a Bernina classroom. So everyone gets their own sit-down machine for the entire class, no sharing, and I get to show you how to master straight line ruler quilting. And we're going to do it in such a fun way. There's going to be a little bit of structure, but most of it is free form, kind of like William, just breaking all the rules. I'm going to show you how to start with a base and then learn how to break some of those rules and be very, very creative in the process. We're going to use straight lines, no decorative stitching, but this is an example how you can add decorative stitching. Yes, I know, Lori. I would love for you to come too. It's going to be so much fun. And I am happy to spill all the tea, Rochelle. If you know any friends that you know live in Southern California that want to learn more about quilting on a sit down long arm, let them know. I'm sharing this one with you because the quilting in this is improv based. I didn't mark anything on this quilt. I started off with my improv ruler quilting angles and shapes technique to finish this quilt. Then once I had all the ruler quilting done, then the empty spaces I added with free motion. But this is what you can accomplish. Even the hair, it was all random techniques with straight line, improv ruler quilting. Yeah, wow. Jordan says, wow. Road to California. Yes, Ontario. Thank you, Terry. Road to California in Southern California, Ontario Convention Center. So the improv class is going to be really fun. It's going to open up a whole new world and also give you some confidence, quilting confidence. The next one is a really fun class, and it's all about, let's see if it can actually will start. It's thinking about it. I think I must have put one of the files on one of my hard drives that likes to sleep. Okay, it finally woke up. Hexagon Remix. This is happening on Thursday. Again, it's going to be this machine, a Q20, and we're going to learn how to remix that hexagon shape into amazing edge-to-edge design. So this is very different from the improv in that we learn how to use that hexagon shape for edge-to-edge quick quilting. We want to get it done fast. So I show you how to do that, but creatively, and how to do it with very, very little to no marking, which is what I love. I don't want to spend hours marking a quilt. I want to quilt it. I want to get it done. Rochelle says she loves improv. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate that. And then we can add free motion. So although we won't do free motion in this class, you know you can still free motion quilt with a ruler foot. So once you do the ruler quilting, you have the option to add free motion. That's one of my tips. So if you're taking notes, you want to not only use free motion ruler quilting to Quilter project, you want to use it as a frame to highlight free motion quilting. So we're going to do a little bit of that. It's going to be a fun class. Then, if that's not your cup of tea, another favorite class, and this is something that I taught on that cruise last year. It's very powerful quilting. It's called echo quilting, and this class is called Reflecting Echoes because we're taking the echo quilting to the next level. What do I mean? I mean that we're not only going to echo quilt, but we're going to mirror it or reflect it. So much fun. It's another way to do straight lines with very purposeful design. Not the improv, which you never know what you're going to get, which is really fun. With the reflecting echoes, we know exactly where we're going. We want to make a design and then mirror that design, but it's still a beginner-friendly class. So, ladies, I am really excited about this opportunity to help you grow in confidence with ruler quilting on a sit down. I can't wait to see you in class. Now, I know some of you are not in California, but if you have friends, let them know. This is a rare, rare opportunity to spend a full day with one machine per student. You're not sharing, to really exponentially increase your skills with ruler quilting. So Jordan says she just Googled it. Oh, and of course, guess who's calling me? Ladies, he hasn't done it in a long time. Guess who's calling me? Should I answer him? I think I will. Well, he hung up. Okay, he may have known what was happening. You know, my brother likes to call me whenever I'm live, and he's in the Philippines. So what time is it there? It's 7:48 a.m. I know he's an early riser because he usually goes out and walks a few miles in the morning. Yes, he always does that. Jordan, I can't wait to see you in California. Okay, Jordan, we would love to have you in class. So if you have any questions about, just let me know. And last but certainly not least, ladies, how many of you heard about the mystery quilt? It doesn't matter where you are in the country, in the world. I'm partnering with two other ladies. We're going to start January 2nd. It's called A Day Away Mystery Quilt. And this one is unique in that I am so happy to be a part of this team to add machine quilting. So in the past, the two of them have done mystery quilts where it was designing a quilt and you finish the quilt. But now we're adding a machine quilting component that they didn't have before. And so I'm really excited. So Jordan says she signed up for A Day Away Mystery Quilt. Fantastic. Registration is open. Let me see if I can get really quickly the image of that. I hesitated to bring it up, but let me do that. We are going to go live on Sunday, and our new partnership is called Triple Stitch Collective. Triple Stitch Collective, this is our first event, official as Triple Stitch. But you know, our first event together was last year, the cruise. That was kind of our test to see how well we work together, and we do. And we work not only well together, the different specialties that we have are really a great combination. Latifa Safir with her curves, Guyleen with her expert polygon piecing skills and design, and me with my machine quilting. Yay, Terry's also in. Woohoo! And Sheila is in the mystery quilt. Yay! All right. Let's see. We are all very excited. We've been working on this for like 8 months. It's been a secret that I couldn't wait to share with you. All right, finally, here it is. Let me put it up on the screen. There we go. So join us live Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be on the Triple Stitch Collective YouTube channel and Facebook page to talk more about the day away mystery. We also have another surprise bonus, so don't miss out on that. And if you have friends that are kind of on the fence and they're not sure if they want to join, tell them don't miss out. We have so many fabulous bonuses. The machine quilting is that extra. Even though it says 6 weeks, it's really going to be a total of 9 weeks because we're adding this extra content, this extra projects, extra machine quilting. You also get an acrylic ruler from all designers. We all are including our own acrylic ruler. So I'm going to have my very first. Those who are in the day away mystery quilt will get the very first Living Water Quilter ruler for machine quilting. I designed it a few years ago, kind of procrastinated on getting it done. And my two besties, Latifa and Guyleen, said, "Girl, get that ruler made. Get it done." All right. Oh, Jacqueline signed up. Woohoo. Awesome. And Deanna says she's in. Yay. I'm so excited for this project. It's really going to be fun. And we're going to have fun. So make sure once you sign up, go into the community, say hello, introduce yourself. So how quickly does a day, an hour go, right? We are done, right? An hour has gone by so quickly. Did I forget anything? Do you have any news to share? Before I sign off, I'd love to share any news that you might have with everyone. We had a great time last night in the beautiful Sister Quilt Along. We've been doing that on Thursday evenings, having fun with that. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Let's see. Hey, Lori. Yes, it is awesome. Yeah, I'm very thankful. And I'm thankful for you, ladies. Thank you for coming, spending time here. Don't keep Quilt Conversations Live a secret. Tell your friends. Have them not only come to the Conversations Live. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, subscribe. If you're not a follower on Facebook, do so. I can't wait to see you at the show next week. We can take pictures. I can't wait to see you at the Mystery Quilt and, of course, in California. There's lots of opportunities. And, of course, don't forget, if you're in Virginia and you want to take this class, join me for a fun embroidery class and the beautiful, a peaceful portrait, I should say, peaceful portrait class. That's going to be at Cottonwood. I'm going to sign off, ladies. I'll see you soon, either online, in person, right? Yes, we had a great session. All right, ladies, have a wonderful month, week, and day. See you soon.